This is Luke Rudkowski of WeAreChange.org here in Sicily, Italy, and today we are joined by activist, journalist, I don't even know what to call Lauren anymore, right-wing she shepherd, and she's been accused of shooting flares at refugees, but I wanted to bring on Lauren to kind of get the full story of what happened here. What just happened?
Obviously, I was shooting fire at drowning refugee children, just a casual weekend activity of mine.
But can you just break down the action that you took and what did you do last night?
Okay, so the point of this action that was arranged by Generation Identitaire was to have a boat peacefully stand in front of a migrant boat, or rather a boat that traffics migrants on the coast of Sicily, and to stop it from going to Libya and illegally trafficking humans into Europe. There was no violence plotted at this event. It was entirely peaceful. We just brought a flag and a flare to light up the ship because it was night, not to shoot at drowning refugee children. The boat actually had no refugees in it. It was all workers that were being paid to go traffic people. And the whole point of it was just an act of defiance against illegal trafficking.
Yeah, now the reaction from this is very huge. People either love you or hate you. There's people, of course, tweeting, even some journalist question mark are saying that you were shooting flares at their refugee boat. But I think there's some important aspects that you need to kind of also tell people about, and especially why you're doing this.
Right. Well, of course, you can't trust the mainstream media for anything. They'll just make shit up. They see one picture of a flare and they're like, oh my goodness, Lord is trying to murder people. Anonymous thinks I'm a terrorist right now. Tons of people are trying to report me to the authorities. We're not actually in that much trouble because we didn't really do anything that bad. In fact, the boat that just kept going when we were in the way probably did more wrong than we did. But why we're doing this is because you've got an illegal trade of people that are being imported by governments willingly because they are voting for democratic left-wing parties and they like that, so they're importing voters. They are also cheap labor for big corporations, so they love importing this cheap labor. And also there's an agenda of multiculturalism and destroying European identity going on from the far left. And all of this is unacceptable to the European youth. They don't want to be paying into social systems that are going to become unsustainable for themselves and their children by supporting all of these people being illegally trafficked into their countries. And I also think it's unfair to the people that are legally immigrating from these places who have been waiting 4 or 5 years getting all of the proper checks done to come and live and work in Europe. And these people are illegally being put before them. It's completely unfair and unacceptable, and if the governments won't stop it, then we're going to try to do something about it.
Well, you also did this action with Generation Identitaire, and they're a very interesting group of people, and their kind of argument is that these kind of refugee boats create human trafficking and the slave trade that's happening off the coast of Libya and make the situation worse. Can you tell us about kind of their point of view, and who is Generation Identitaire that you took this action with?
Well, Generation Identity is obviously a right-wing movement, and they are mainly focused on the identity of Europe. They believe that every European country has a unique identity, a unique language, unique borders, and they want to keep it that way. They want to keep France French. That doesn't mean opposing all people coming into it. That means keeping it a majority French people so that it doesn't become an Islamic state instead of a French state. And I think that's a completely fair concern to have. I am typically lean more libertarian than the average right-winger, but the people that are destroying the culture and importing these people, it's not free movement. It is literally governments paying to import people and change the culture. So I'm against the illegal government changing of these cultures, and so is Generation Identitaire. And I think it's completely fair of them to be worried about their kids not living in the same culture, language, and society that they grew up in. And I think it's completely fair of them to try to preserve that.
Now, we actually did a little live stream of the action. It was very dark, so I apologize for the video. But let me know what you think of Lauren's actions in the comment section below. And Lauren, I wanted to just leave you with the overall question, what's next?
Well, what's next is this was just a test. Obviously, it didn't work out as well as we would have liked it to, but it was a test round to see what we would need to do for next time, what kind of equipment we would need, how many boats we would need, and to show the world that it is possible. It is possible to get out on the ocean and find out where these boats are and to potentially stop them. Of course, we're going to need more materials next time, but that's what's next is we're going to be preparing that.
Yeah, if you want to see more from Lauren, check her out on twitter.com/Lauren_Southern, and her YouTube channel will be in the description below because we know she's also making a video. And yeah, thank you for this interview.
Absolutely.